top of the right. The release. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, thank you very much for meeting you online. Yesterday we were having meeting. Day before yesterday we were having meeting, and you have been unanimously appointed as a advisor of National Cooperative Housing Society for this project. That is the redevelopment project. So we have taken prerana, that is inspiration from your talk and from your contribution to this concept of self-redevelopment. And today we are very eager to listen to you about redevelopment committee, management committee, do's and don'ts. So I will not come in between our audience and yourself. I will leave this matter to you. You please take over and guide us, and we'll abide by your instructions. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Yes, thank you for appointing me as advisor. As you know, I had told you earlier as well, whether you appoint me as advisor or not, my services to you continue. If I am the advisor, or even if I am not the advisor, my time to your society and services will continue irrespective. If you appoint me, I am really honored and obliged. But even if you don't appoint me, the service to your society will not be in any way reduced in any manner whatsoever. This is a service which is fully without any expectations, and it shall continue till your building gets redeveloped completely and you move into your own houses. Let me tell you how the relationship between the managing committee and the redevelopment committee happens. First of all, why is there a redevelopment committee? The managing committee is good enough to run the society, and it can take all the decisions with regard to the effective managing of the society on a day-to-day basis. However, for a project such as redevelopment, you would require much more than what the managing committee has the expertise. And managing committee has the expertise to run the society. Whereas for redevelopment, you require someone who will spend time into the various aspects of redevelopment, which includes architectural design, selecting of architects, selecting of structural engineer, selecting the path on which we should go, also selecting the type of feasibility and how much extra free area is to be given. So all these are semi-technical areas which all managing committee may not have the wherewithal to understand. The redevelopment committee will concentrate exclusively on redevelopment issues, raise new queries, discuss new options, select between the options that are available, and present before the managing committee what are the options that can be done. The managing committee, then its wisdom, takes a decision one way or the other on the options presented by the redevelopment committee. And then if the managing committee agrees, it then forwards it before the general body. Please understand that the owner of the society is the general body, and the final decision on all matters is only the general body. So the general body is not just capable, but it is competent to take decisions on all issues based on the recommendation of the managing committee, and managing committee takes its decision based on the recommendation of the redevelopment committee. It is generally expected that the redevelopment committee is a continuous process and it doesn't change every 3 years or 5 years. Even if the managing committee changes, the redevelopment committee continues, and the nominees on the redevelopment committee from the managing committee. The managing committee will have nominees on the redevelopment committee, and the chairman and the secretary will be ex officio, can attend any meeting of the redevelopment committee, so that they have first hand information of what is happening in the redevelopment committee. Whenever the chairman and secretary have the time, they will also give time to attend the redevelopment committee. It is not compulsory or mandatory, though, that chairman secretary must attend every meeting, and no meeting is complete without the chairman secretary attending. But chairman secretary ex officio will be there on the uh, uh, redevelopment committee. This is how the functioning of the redevelopment committee and the managing committee will happen. The redevelopment committee will generally meet once a week, or even if necessary twice a week, whenever there is an item on agenda, and discuss the item on agenda and then report back to the managing committee from time to time. This is by far what I had to say about the relationship between the redevelopment committee and the managing committee. Now, if you have any questions on this, please ask.
Members, please ask any questions. I will ask the first question. Hello.
Yes.
I will ask first question. In case redevelopment committee comes to certain conclusions, can they directly go to the general body bypassing managing committee?
I could not hear your question. If the redevelopment committee comes to a conclusion, then
if without approaching to the general to the managing committee, can they directly go to the general body and present their proposal before the general body without considering?
Your voice is cracking. I can't hear you properly.
Okay, sir. Now it is okay. Hello. Now,
Yes.
see, can redevelopment committee, if they come to certain conclusion and proposal, can they go directly to the general body?
Here, your voice is not clear. I can't hear you. Can someone tell me what his question is?
According to me, the question is
Yes.
whether the redevelopment committee can go directly to the general body with the proposal. That's what I feel. The question.
If the generally the redevelopment committee, the normal thing is the redevelopment committee goes to the managing committee, and the managing committee approves the proposal and goes to the general body. If, however, the managing committee does not feel that the redevelopment committee's proposal is good enough, then the general body takes the final decision whether what is proposed by the redevelopment committee is correct or not. The final authority for decision is the general body. However, it is always better that the managing committee approves it and then takes it to the general body.
Okay.
Mr. Prabhu, to build on this question, my name is Jacqueline D'Souza. To build on this question, I just need to ask you, in the course of the self-redevelopment, there will be what is called important issues which will arise. So what is your suggestion? How these important issues should be addressed? Meaning, RDC takes a decision of the majority, it goes to the MC, and will the MC take it to the GB, or should the MC take it to the GB in the form of a voting as a final decision?
No, the final decision on all matters is with the general body. The SGM is the final authority to take all decisions with regard to self-redevelopment. However, the redevelopment committee and the managing committee both are assisting the SGM, assisting the general body in giving their opinions on various things and various matters that come before them. If there is a dispute between the opinion of the redevelopment committee and the managing committee, then the general body is the final arbitrator. However, since the chairman and the secretary from the managing committee is already there in the redevelopment committee, such issues need not be come, because they will be discussed at the level of the redevelopment committee itself, because the chairman and secretary will be present there.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
In any case, the final decision is with the general body, and general body, if they don't agree on a particular thing, then it will be done by voting.
Clear.
Any other question, please?
Yeah, this is Krishna Kumar. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So my question is that is it possible to prepare a list in advance of what are the key critical decision points which will go to the GBM? Because you have said that GBM is ultimate authority, which obviously it is. But what are the let's say 50 or 100 key steps where decision will be sought from the GBM?
No, every decision has to go to the GBM. Either it goes before taking a decision, or it goes as a post facto sanction of the decision taken. Any decision on redevelopment, appointment of architect, appointment of structural engineer, appointment if necessary of the PMC, fees of the architect, terms of the architect, approval of the plan, the initial plan, the final plan, the submission of the plan, the vacation of the houses if necessary. Every decision with regard to redevelopment has to be approved by the general body. So, if necessary, once in a month, maybe first Sunday of every month or first Saturday of every month, there should be a general body once the process starts rolling, and whether there is any item on the agenda or not, general body will meet, and there will be some item on the other on which they need to make a decision. Now, before the general body, the redevelopment committee and managing committee will do their homework and brief the general body on their opinion, and general body will take a final decision.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, now we have taken a decision of self-redevelopment. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Now we have taken a decision of self-redevelopment. We have also appointed you as advisor. We have also finalized rules and regulation of redevelopment committee, and redevelopment committee is also constituted. So these are the basic steps we have taken. Now, from tomorrow, what is the agenda you are giving to us so that we can work towards achieving that object? What will be our next item of going to the general body for
Yes,
taking
yes. The first item that you go to the general body immediately,
Yes.
that the 5 schemes that I gave you, you have to take. You have to take, the redevelopment committee has to take a decision, and submit it to the managing committee, and it need not go to the general body. It has to be circulated to all the members. What are the 5 schemes? The 5 schemes are to assess the demand that your members can generate towards the self redevelopment scheme. Now, what is the demand? First, the general body will decide as and when it decides, when we submit to the general body, as to how much percentage square feet over and above what you are occupying will be free. My view is that it should not be less than 40%. However, the general body should take a decision as to what that uh, uh, that figure should be of free area to be given to every member over and above what he is presently occupying. That is the job of the general body. But before we go to the general body, the managing committee, the redevelopment committee and the managing committee have to agree on the following process. Over and above what is the free area given to all the members, if any member wants to buy extra area, that extra area should be available to the member at a discounted price. Now, how much should be the discount? That general body will decide. But the decision that if a member wants to buy extra area, that extra area, he will be entitled to buy the extra area, and the price at which he will buy will be decided by the general body. If that decision is taken, then a letter will be issued to all the members by the chairman or secretary of through the managing committee, saying that we are trying to assess the demand from our members. This is no commitment whatsoever to any member. This is only a measure to assess the demand. So this is a process that we are following to assess the demand. You are going to get whatever the area that you presently occupy free of cost. You are going to get whatever the area, percentage of area which the general body decides as free area for you. Over and above these 2 components, if you are you interested in buying more area at a discounted price, the discount percentage to be decided by the general body, question mark. If yes, how much area you want to buy, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, whatever. And if you are buying, then do you have the financial arrangement to buy this money, buy this extra area, or you are going to apply for some loans to buy this area? That is the first letter that will go to all the members, and within 10 days, the members have to fill in the prescribed form. Only 2 things they have to fill. 3 things. 1, are they interested in buying extra area or not? There it is going to be yes or no. 2, they are going to say, if yes, how much area they intend to buy. 3, if they are intended to buy that area, do they have the financial arrangement already there, or they would like to take loan? They may have money in fixed deposits and shares and they can encash it and pay, so they need not take any loan. If they want to take home loan, then we will have to process their applications for that home loan. So hence, this is required. This is scheme number 1, which should immediately go to all the members. First thing, today after this meeting, you can sit. The redevelopment committee can take a decision, managing committee can take a decision, and secretary can write to all the members so that within 10 days, we know how many of your members are likely to buy the extra area. This doesn't in any way give any commitment from the society that that much area will be allotted to them. However, this is a process for assessing the demand only. That should be made very clear on that letter. And we come to know how much extra area there is demand for. That is scheme number 1. The moment we get that, we go to scheme number 2. Scheme number 2 is for, yes, any question on scheme number 1?
No.
Hello, this is Shelton speaking, Mr. Chandrasekhar.
Yes.
This is Shelton from building 4, flat 4. Now, you say you were asking for the members to give their requirement, but the members see the pricing first.
At this stage. Yes.
So one person talk at a time, please.
What I'm saying is, do the member do not require to know what would be the price per square foot before taking a decision of how much area they want?
See, members know the market price. Do the members know the market price or not?
It could be varying. The market price could be varying at different locations. Na?
No. Your Blossom Society, what is the market price?
It approximately the price.
How much is the market price? Let us decide that today.
Yeah.
What is the market price?
I'm not aware. I'm not sure. I don't know.
So, can anyone suggest what is the market price?
It is 25,000 rupees per square feet.
Okay, 25,000 rupees per square feet. Now, if that is the market price, the discount will be given to members. Whether it will be 25% or 30% or 20% is what the general body will decide. Assuming the general body decides for the highest, that is 30%, then if you have 25,000 rupees as the market price, the member will get it at 17,500. Is that clear?
Yes.
But that will not be any commitment that it is 17,500. It could be 18,000. It could be 16,500, because your selling price instead of 25 can be 26, can be 24. Accordingly, the 30% and your percentage will have to be decided by your general body. So roughly, if 25,000 is the selling price, then the members, if they buy, they will get it at 17.5, which means for 100 square feet, they have to pay 17.5.
Mr. Prabhu,
which means if they pay
Caroline D'Souza, I wanted to tell you that the area, the average area of our flat
Let him finish. So.
onwards to 800.
Who is talking? Some ladies talking in the middle, please.
Yeah, Caroline, let him
So
finish and then you can.
which means that you are going to get at 17,500, means 100 square feet for 17.5 lakh, 2.5 lakh you put your money, 15 lakh comes from the bank. In 10 years, you pay your EMIs on that 100%. That is what it means to register your demand. However, this is not some compulsion.
I just want to say at this point,
Who is talking in the middle? Please mute your.
Sir, we'll mute all first, then you unmute yourself. So that,
Yes.
Please.
Okay. So now, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that someone may want 300, someone may want 500, someone may want 1,000 square feet. Whatever you want, you can register as your demand. And once we get the demand, we will analyze the demand and then go to the general body with a specific proposal, and general body will approve. Is that clear now on the first scheme number 1?
One more clarification, Mr. Chandrasekhar. If we are saying 25,000 per square foot, if we are agreeing to in the GB, will that be the selling price even to outsiders?
Yes, yes. Whatever is the selling price that your general body agrees to outsider, you will get 30% discount on that.
So that is what rate we have to fix, because if you are saying 25,000, maybe cost may go to 27 or 28.
No, that
If
you have
with the
to,
physical,
but today is not the time for fixing that. For assessing demand, you don't have to fix that rate. If you have
all right.
17.5 lakh, you will have 16.5 also. You will have 18 also. So either you have that kind of money or you don't have. If you have, you register your demand. Otherwise, don't register. And
Sir, I have a
anything
question.
does not
Sir.
reply within the stipulated time, it will be taken that it doesn't require the area.
Sir, I have a question. This debate, suppose a person, a member wants some extra area. In order to finalize that, before taking this decision, first of all, the society is supposed to take a decision in respect of the extra area which is going to be given in free of cost.
Right.
And only anybody can take a decision on this particular extra area, you know.
Yes, we don't want the society to take a decision unless I get an idea of what the demand is. This is to assess the demand. If we have more demand, then we will go in one particular way. If we have less demand, then we will go in another way. This is just to assess the demand.
No, sir. My question is, the extra area which is going to get from the redevelopment, that is percentage is to be fixed first. Then only one member can assess that we require extra area or not.
I understand your problem, but that cannot be fixed now.
Okay.
I hope you realize that I have some experience in doing it. When I'm giving you some process, I have something in mind. That is why I am telling you.
Okay,
But
okay.
that will be fixed. As of now, that cannot be fixed because we do not know whether market will do well, market will not do well, what are the projections of the market. All that we will come to. We will have to take decisions. All decisions will be taken by you. No decision is being taken by me. You are the one who is going to take all the decisions, so don't worry on that score. Today,
Can I come in, sir?
today our limited intention is to assess the demand, and for assessing the demand, the exercise that is required, I am giving you, that you have to do immediately.
Okay, okay.
Can I come in, sir?
Yes, yes,
Chandrasekhar Prabhu, sir.
yes,
My name is Jacob Koshi. I live in building number 11.
yes,
My understanding so far in this discussion is that this is like a survey being conducted to make
yes,
our feasibility report workable and to reach out to the lending agency, right?
yes, yes,
So
yes.
let us not, discuss about the parameters of how much extra area you will get it, how much is the market rate. These are not at all a question to be decided here. It's only for a feasibility survey done,
Correct,
so that how much is within the members are buying, that gives the credibility of the project.
correct, correct. You are
This is, yeah.
100% correct. That is
Thank you,
what
sir.
we are
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to do.
yeah.
We are trying to lower the risk profile of the project, and that is why we are only assessing the demand so that we make our project report look very attractive to any investor. That is why we are doing this exercise. This exercise is very essential because it has to be done like this.
So we will move to the next item, sir.
Yes, the next item is scheme number 2. Scheme number 2 is for blood relation. Again, the same assessment of demand. Earlier, it was for your flats increasing. Now, it is separate flat to be sold. First preference of buying a separate flat in your society, not your flat, a separate flat if someone wants to buy, who should get the preference? So the first preference should be to the blood relation of the member. Now, who is a blood relation according to the definition? According to the definition of the blood relation is the members, father, mother, son, daughter, grandson, daughter, granddaughter, grandfather, grandmother. These fit in within the definition of blood relation. So if any blood relation of the member wants to buy a flat, not area, a flat, whether it is 500 square feet, 600 square feet, 800 square feet, he wants to buy a flat, then the blood relation member should inform that my son or my daughter who is already married, or my son who is settled abroad, or my son who is living in Mulund, or my son who is living in another society in Chembur, or my son who is living with me wants to buy a separate flat. So this flat will be available for the member and his blood relation at 20% discount on the market price. Whether this should be 20 or 18 or 22, that your general body should decide. This is roughly whatever number the general body decides for selling flat to a blood relation, that discount will be given. The blood relation will be entitled to buy a flat. The first preference on buying of flats will be given to blood relation, and the discount will be decided by the general body. That's the second letter to the members, that over and above your flat, if you want to buy a flat for your blood relation, it can be in your name, your wife's name, or in the name of your children, or in the name of your father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, grandson, granddaughter. Then you shall be entitled to the highest discount, whatever the general body decides. So that is the second scheme of assessment of demand. Is that clear to everybody? The second.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now the third scheme of assessment of demand goes to.
Sir, one question on the second scheme.
Yes.
So these new members, when will they have to make the payment, and when will they actually become members of the society?
No, they will make a payment only when we register with the RERA. Till then, they have not to make any payment to the society. If the society wants to take some payment, then I will come to how we take the payment later. But presently, they don't have to make any payment to the society. Only the member has to inform that my son is interested in buying a 800 square feet flat, and my son will take home loan or whatever for that purpose. The second scheme is clear.
Yes, sir. I have one question. So can I speak over here?
Yes.
Please.
Prabhu, can you hear me? So this is Manoj here. I
Hello.
just wanted to clarify something. Now these blood relations of members who would be entitled to certain discounts as far as the flat is concerned, will we be having any restrictions in terms of when they can sell the flat, or sort of a holding period, so that that 20% profit margin?
That the general body will decide. In some general bodies, they decide that if they buy it and immediately within 5 years or 10 years they sell it, then the discount that has been given to them will be recovered by the society. That general body has to decide, because someone should not use this to make business and take it at 20% and sell it immediately thereafter. So the general body will decide on what conditions this will be given. But it is expected that this will be taken and kept at least for 5 or 10 years with the concerned blood relation.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, there is no legal ban to sell it immediately. Is there any legal embargo?
If the general body decides to put that condition, it will be entered into an agreement between the concerned person and the society, and then it becomes legal.
Okay.
Can I speak, sir?
Yes.
Now, the second scheme is for blood relation. Now, if the member himself wants to buy an additional flat,
The same rule applies to him, whatever applies to his blood relation.
so for additional area, he gets 30%. If he wants to buy a new flat, he gets 20%.
20%, correct.
Okay.
Now we go to the
Scheme number.
next scheme. Next scheme is for other relations. Now, what is an other relation? The brother and sister of the member, their children and grandchildren. The brother and sister of the member's spouse and the parents of the member's spouse and their children and grandchildren. Why are we doing this scheme? Assuming the member's spouse, member's father-in-law, mother-in-law are old and they are living in Mumbai, they are living in some other place, and in this days of pandemic, it's very difficult to go and meet your in-laws. However, if the in-laws want to liquidate their existing flat and come and stay in your same building in a separate flat and want to buy, then they should be entitled. And member and his spouses, brothers and sisters, own brothers and sisters, not cousins, brothers and sisters and their children, then they will be entitled to roughly 15% discount on the selling price. So the member should check with their brothers and sisters. Member's spouse should check with her parents, brothers and sisters, and then register a demand whether they want, whether they don't want. If they want this thing, again, the percentage of how much discount will be given will be decided by the general body. But the range in most other societies is around 15%. Is that clear now? The next scheme?
Yeah.
First scheme is for the member to buy extra area. Second scheme is for the blood relation to buy a separate flat. Third scheme is for the other relations to buy a separate flat. Is that clear now?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
fourth scheme is, it's a scheme for cousins. So, members, fathers, brothers, children, members, fathers, sisters, children who are members' first cousin, members' mothers, brothers, children, members' mothers, sisters, children who are first cousins of the member. Similarly, first cousin of the member's spouse. Any one of them or their children want to buy a flat, then it should be a 10% discount. Is this scheme number 4 understood by everybody? Any questions on this scheme number 4?
It is clear.
Clear, clear, sir.
Okay. Now, so the 4 schemes we do and we get the feedback. And once we get the feedback, we know how much who is getting. Why are we not deciding the percentage? Now I will reveal that to you just now. Because assuming that all the members buy the entire square feet area, then we will get 30% less revenue. Then we will have to plan it accordingly. Then we don't need to take loans from any bank. So depending on this demand, we will have to make our project report and make our feasibility and make our risk position. So unless I get an idea of the demand, I cannot move further. So this demand has to be assessed at this stage. Now, over and above that, now the last scheme I will say today, and today I think this is enough homework for all of you. So the last scheme is after assessing this demand, if we assume that there is still some area that is left to be sold, then every member of Blossom Society will be permitted to bring a customer, bring a buyer, outsider, not related to him, but bring a buyer to the society. And if the member introduces a buyer, from the money that the buyer pays, the buyer will be asked to pay 2% of the price of his flat as brokerage, which will go to the member who is getting the person. Now, if the member is very friendly with the buyer and member wants to waive the 2%, it's up to the member and the buyer. But this 2%, which otherwise we would have given to any broker, that 2% will be entitled to a member. And every member will be given one flat to sell each. There is no compulsion on all the members that you must sell a flat. If a person doesn't want to sell any flat, he can write to the society that I do not want to sell any flat. I don't think I can do it. And my share of the sale can go to anyone else. Similarly, any member wants to bring in 5 customers to the society, he can similarly indicate that if I can be given more than one flat to sell, I will get you the customers and I may be entitled to the 2% from the customer. Remember, the society is not paying any brokerage. The brokerage is paid by the buyer to the member, and the society will only bill that payment. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now these are the 5 things that we have to do immediately. And once we get feedback from these 5 things, then we meet for what we have to do further.
Can I ask you one question, sir?
Yes.
And some clarification.
Yes.
Now, say the member, he takes additional area. Suppose he is having a 650 square feet flat, and suppose we come to a figure of 50% additional area after working. I'm just giving as a proposal.
Yes.
So he comes to about 950 or so, or 950 or 1,000 square feet. Now he buys additional area of 300.
Yes.
Will be able to, get it, 2 separate entrances for the flat when he wants to split it.
He will have one flat. However, within that one flat, there could be a design. We can tell the architect to make a design that first there is one flat. You enter through one door. Once you go in, there is a small lobby where you remove your shoes or whatever. And then there are 2 doors. And then both the doors can be made in such a way that they can lead to the flat. But as far as the society is concerned, society recognizes one flat per member, not 2 flats. You can't sell those 2 flats. So outside the one door, there could be 2 bells. If you want to talk to the elder son, you can press one bell. The younger son, it could be the second bell. And they can come and open the door. But there will be one door, one flat. Inside it, there could be a design wherein 2 different families can stay. Even if someone wants to occupy one flat and give the other on rent, even that is possible. But as far as the society is concerned, the 1200 square feet becomes one flat and part of it cannot be sold, can never be sold. If he has to sell, he has to sell the entire 1200 or live in that 12. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
very
sir.
clear. Thank you very much for that.
Sir,
Assessing of demand will take at least 1 month of yours. And let us start off with scheme 1, scheme 2, scheme 3, scheme 4, and you will get feedback. Some people will ask for some time extension. You can give them time extension. By the end of a month or so, we will get a better idea of where we stand vis-a-vis raising resources from our members and their close relations. Is that
Can I ask a question?
yes?
Sir, I have one question I would like to.
Yeah. So, I wanted to ask a question. These schemes, do you think it is wise to just put out all the schemes together, or do you do it in one after the other? You get the response for the one and then do the second.
Yeah, I think one after the other, because people will be confused. That is one. And assuming after the second scheme we realize that most of our area is gone, then we don't have to send the third scheme at all. It is only when these schemes we don't get enough people buying the area, then we go on the next scheme.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
Now, this is regarding what Mr. Koshi said, that in case I'm entitled to 1,200 square foot flat, but I don't want such a big flat because it's only me and my husband. I want only 600. Is that possible? I don't want the other 600. Can I sell that 600?
You see, if you do not want your share of the flat, then you can take your part of the 600. But what happens is, for the other 600, there are some expenses that the society has to incur. Not just the construction cost, the cost of TDR, the cost for premiums, the cost for fungible, the cost for BMC approvals, all that will be loaded on your expense for the remaining portion of your flat. And then from whatever price that will be sold, that cost will be deducted, and then whatever is the remaining after deducting all the cost, only that will come to you. So you can't say that 25,000 rupees per square feet is the selling price. So I am entitled to 1,200. I want 600. So you give me the remaining 600 multiplied by 25,000. No, you, from the money that comes out of your 600, what will happen is all the costs will be first deducted, and from the remaining, after the interest cost of the bank and other thing is deducted, if there is any remaining, that can come to you as a corpus. However, if all the flats are not sold, your portion will be sold only after all the flats are sold. If all the flats are not sold, then your portion won't be sold. It is only when your portion will be sold that you will get the money after deducting the cost. Is that clear?
Prabhu sir, just one follow-up to this question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Prabhu sir, just one follow-up to this question.
I would suggest that even if you don't require 600 square feet and you are entitled to 1200 square feet, you can make a design of 2 flats, and one of them you can give on rent, and every month you can get money instead of getting one-time money. These days, putting that one-time money in the bank doesn't get you good interest rate, whereas the rent you will get on a permanent basis, and you will at least get 25,000 rupees per month as rent from the extra flat that you give on rent, and that will be a good income for you for the rest of your life. I think instead of surrendering your area, if you keep that area and make a design in such a way that you earn out of that flat, it will be beneficial for you.
In such case,
Very much.
A follow-up question to this, Prabhu sir.
Yes.
A follow-up question on this. During the self-redevelopment process, it was 35% that the free FSI that we got from BMC. You were not eligible to sell that. Will that particular rule apply here as well, or any extra area that I'm getting, I'm eligible to sell?
No. 35% that you get from BMC is only available to you. If you don't take that extra area, that is not available at all.
Exactly.
So for this lady, if out of the 1,200 square feet, if 400 square feet is from 35% fungible, then that for 35% fungible, if she doesn't take, then that is not available. You can't sell that.
Oh.
It is only for the remaining that she will get encashment.
So, sir, assuming the flat is say 500 square feet, we add 35% to it. That would be whatever the figure, and on and above that amount,
170.
on and above
Yeah.
that figure, so 500 plus 170, so that's 670. So the remaining 530 square feet or whatever the extra area that can be sold, right?
Yeah, see, but that has to be bought by paying TDR by buying TDR at 5,000, 6,000 rupees per square feet. Why will the society spend money on buying TDR for you when you are getting the profit? So all the expenses for buying TDR of that surplus area you have to pay, and then you can get the profit.
Sir,
Understood.
another problem in the hello, can I tell? Another problem, the fungible FSI is not totally free. As per DCR 2034, it is only free is only 10 square meter or 15% of the existing area, whichever is greater. And balance is premium FSI, premium fungible FSI.
So whatever is payable, you have to pay your share.
Correct.
If you want to take less than what your eligibility is, then all the expenses you have to bear, then you will get whatever is the difference. But if you don't pay the expenses, then you cannot take a smaller area and sell the remaining.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Mr. Prabhu,
Can I clarify one more point?
Yes.
Now, as the lady said, she has got a 1,200 square feet flat. What she can do is, she can take that flat and take an additional flat of a smaller area, 650 or 700. Once the project is completed, she can sell that flat and move to the other flat.
No, she cannot.
No, that can't be done.
1,200 square feet entitled can't be divided into two flats. Against that 1,200 square feet.
I'm not saying divided. I am saying is, she takes the 1,200 square feet flat and she also takes a 650 square feet flat.
Separate flat she buys at 20% discount. She is entitled to buy. Then she shifts into that 600 square feet and sells her 1,200 square feet flat. But
that's what I.
But for that selling, whatever the rules the society will make, she will have to follow them.
Yes.
So,
Mr. Prabhu, this is Jacqueline D'Souza. I have a question. My question is this. If I have 1,000 square feet flat, assuming today, 35% is a compulsory addition that I have to take. So that becomes 1,350. Now, assuming the society takes a decision that over and above that 35%, members will get 15% more. That means total of 50. Now, my question is this. Can I take that 15%, okay, which is 150 square feet, and add or purchase, say, another 350 square feet at the 20% rate and get a separate new flat for 500 square feet?
No, you can't take any portion from this flat and add to the sellable, because in this flat you are not paying any GST or taxes, whereas on the sellable you are paying the taxes and stamp duty. So the two cannot be mixed. You can buy a separate flat of 500, 600, 700, 1,000, but at 20% discount. You are fully entitled that. But this flat, you can't take any portion of this flat and add to that flat. That's not possible.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Your point here.
Yes.
Is it safe to say that every flat member, 284 of us, will still continue to have one share certificate whatever that current share certificate
So
number is.
five share certificates.
5 share certificates, but that 5 share certificate comprises to one flat. It is not divided. And whenever we are selling, we have to sell all 5 share certificates to the new buyer.
Yes.
And all speculation with respect to the extra FSI, extra area that we are getting, that speculation cannot be held true at this point in time, as we are just looking at the demand perspective right now.
Correct.
And the thing and the interest and the profit, whatever we can, that is all going to happen once the demand exercise is completed and the lock-in period is agreed for the extra FSI plus the discounted price.
Correct.
So at
You are 100% correct.
So at this point in time, I don't think we should encourage or support anything with respect to speculation of the selling price and when and how and etc. that we have to do.
I agree completely.
So let's stick to the agenda. Let's move on. So we explain the five demand points. Let's look at only the demand perspective right now, not the selling.
Yes.
So now let's move to the next question. Next question is that we have got now 23 members, RDC members on there, regarding demand assessment work, and as well as the second step of, say, appointment of architect in PMC, that also preparation should start. So can you just tell us some idea that we can have two subgroups? One group will be working for assessment and second group will be working for regarding tender for PMC preparation. I am talking about the preparation.
See whether one group will do both or they want to separate, leave it to them. I have no question, but simultaneously that will also have to start. You will have to identify the best architects in town and write to them about your society, get initial letters from them showing their preliminary interest, and then give them time to make presentation to the general body.
What is the whether public tender or private tender? Private.
One more question.
We want to involve publicly or privately. Public or private?
No, it depends on you. If you want to give an advertisement, you can give an advertisement. If you want a global tender for architects, that is also possible for you to do. We have found out in some other project in Thane, in Vasant Vihar, they are going for global tender. And I was surprised to find out that for issuing a global tender in 43 different countries through the internet, it doesn't even cost more than 10,000 rupees for advertising in all these professional newspapers and magazines through internet. So if you want, it could also be a global tender. But if you want to be a global tender, then we have to do some preparation before that. We have to make a list of architects from Singapore, from US, from Los Angeles, and then write to them explaining what your society is, and that you are going to come up with a global tender. And when you come with a global tender, they will be prepared to participate in it. So that also is a decision that your new redevelopment committee will have to deliberate and discuss and decide.
Then for the global tender, we have to prepare a tender and the tender notice, and accordingly we have to move, sir.
No, before even the tender notice, you have to make a list of the top architects in the world, and you have to write to them telling them about your existence. They won't even know that Mumbai exists. Some of them don't even know that within Mumbai Andheri exists. Someone of them may not know within Andheri Marol exists, and within Marol a Blossom Society exists. So you will have to brief them on all this. They field their questions, and once we are reasonably sure that we have contacted enough people who have shown interest, then we go on to the drafting of the tender.
It means that we have to select a panel of the architect. You mean to say?
Yes, you can contact, I can give you the numbers of the Thane Society, which is already writing to some 25, 30 architects in different countries. So if they are writing, you can take list from them. It is not necessary that you follow the list, but you can find out what went into their minds when they made that list. You can take some people from that list, you can add some people from your list, start corresponding with them, and once they show preliminary interest, then we can think of tender.
Okay, sir. That
One
is
more
fine.
question, please. One more question, please.
Yes.
Sir, supposing I want to sell my whole 1,200, at what point can I sell that?
It is up to your society as to what rules they will pass. The general body will decide whether immediately after going for redevelopment after completion can it be sold immediately, or it because you have gone through so much trouble. What should be, because you have got all this area uh, virtually for free. So the general body will deliberate over it and make rules for sale. Whatever the rules the general body makes, you will follow them.
Arjun, it is too early to decide at this point in time. Short and sweet answer.
Can I come in?
Thank you. Thank
A
you.
follow-up
Sir.
question, sir. A follow-up question.
Bharti sir, can you be the moderator as to who should speak, who should not?
Mr. Jacob, you please.
Shall
Jacob,
I speak?
Jacob, you speak.
Yeah. Let me speak. Again, Mr. Chandrashekhar Prabhu, I am Jacob Koshi, calling from building number 11. This is regarding what all the actions can simultaneously be carried out to reduce the total span of time, so that we can work in a proper harmonious manner. The first 5 items can also go simultaneously. We can do some other work. This is just to add what our chairman Bharti has suggested.
Selection of architect is the simultaneous work that will have to do. I think between the two works, you will have enough work to attend to 200 odd members who will be asking questions on this. I think 1 month's work is there for all in these 5, and selection of architects and writing to architects. See, writing to 30, 40, 50 architects and calling their office and having correspondence with them is a substantial work. So I don't want to load you with much more work. Next 1 month, even if we succeed in writing to 30, 40 architects, 2, 3 letters up and down by email, and deciding on our demand in the next 1 month, if we decide, I think that would be tremendous amount of work. So let us not load ourselves with more work. If you want, I can give you more work also. I have no problem on that. But I think at this stage, this much to start with, the new committee has just come. So let us not burden them with too much work. I think this much work is more than enough to start.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That is
Whether architect is to be appointed immediately or PMC to be appointed. Or
So
PMC,
architect is required first. PMC comes when we will decide on our contractor and other things. See, the definition, the work of architect and PMC, please understand the different work. The architect is someone who visualizes your building, makes the approach paper, makes the design of the building, sees how the building will be seen. And the PMC is someone who takes the architect design and identifies good contractors, helps you to select good materials, good specification, puts all of them together into one this thing, and oversees your work in such a way that it clockwise and lays down milestones to be completed at different levels. That is the PMC's job. The architect's job is to design go with the liaison person to get approvals, make changes with regard to necessity for approvals, and once the approvals happen, to see that done as this architecture. So these are
This question is asked
Prabhu sir, a
because
follow-up question on this.
this is a question is asked because PMC says I am having architect with me. So there is no need of again looking for architect. I have battery of architects. But I am a program manager, so I have got all agencies. I have got 26 agencies with me, so you appoint me first. And thereafter, I will take care of architect.
no, you can tell the PMC that give me instances of 5 global tenders he has issued and 5 international architects whom he has selected. Then we will examine it. And if he is really capable of issuing global tenders and selecting architects of repute internationally, then we will consider the PMC's. As of
See, as per procedure of self-development, the first point is to be done for the architect only, not to the PMC. It is very clear.
Yes.
The guideline here is very clear on that. There is
Yes,
nothing.
yes.
Yeah.
Now the question, I have a question following this. If there is a cost for the architect, would that be borne by the architect or it will be by the society? Because he
No.
has to present it. Will it
No.
happen now?
Any architect who is making presentation to us should be told very clearly our first condition to all our professionals, whether architect, whether PMC, whether structural engineer, whether chartered accountant, whether lawyer, that the society not upfront payment. The society looks at these professionals as partners in our scheme. So, in the basis of partnership, they have to invest initially by spending their time without taking advance money. And if they invest their time in our society, when our finances will be in position, they will be paid for not accepting the advance. We will place before the general body that if they are entitled to 1.5%, we can give them something more for not accepting any advance when we appoint them. So this is the condition. The society is not spending any money henceforward on paying any professional for anything. We will pay them. We will agree to pay them and pay them only when our finances are in order. Means we know from where our finances are going to come, our loans have been sanctioned, then we will pay them. We may pay them little more than what has been agreed between us, but upfront payment, we are not doing it. I'm not willing to recommend that kind of a risk. I don't want any member to shell out any money at this stage unless all the scheme is ready and we have our funds in hand.
Thank you.
Clear.
Thank you.
Sir, again, Sarish here. We have already discussed on the demand. What is the timeline that you will set for the managing committee and the redevelopment committee to finish this exercise step by step?
1 month.
Four schemes of 10 days each at the most. So 35 to 40 days, the whole demand should come. Today we are at the end of May. So by the end of June or beginning of July, we should be able to get all this thing. We should also have written to various architects and we can report back as to what is the progress with these architects.
And one question with respect to the architect. When we write to the architect, do we have to, collate or consolidate this demand information? Because we have various questions with respect to that, right?
Not architect, not as that. We will prepare a We will only write to him saying that we will give you a design brief. We are in the process of assembling the information, collecting data on demand and other things. Once we have all the information, we will give you a regular brief. Architect understands what a design brief is. We will make a regular design brief and give it to him. So it becomes easy for him to design the building because the brief has to be very clear and specific. So we will draft the brief and we will give it to the architects, all the architects concerned. As of now, we don't require that. As of now, we want, first of all, you have to take a decision whether you want international architects to participate or not. If you don't want them to participate, then that portion is out. If you want them to participate, then who do you want to participate? Are you going to go by some other societies who have invited foreign architects, or will you do your own research? If there is someone from amongst you through the internet or the younger generation who want to do research on who are the possible architects that you want to invite, see, understand this is very important. I will take just 5 minutes to tell you that Sachin Society in Mulund was a society wherein it is 330 members and they have 13 buildings. In Mulund, it is on Mitagar Road. A very good society called Sachin Cooperative Housing Society. Is headed by ex-Navy captain who had a major role to play in the Kargil war. He then retired and came back to Sachin after the war, and Sachin Society elected him the secretary. So he was full of lot of ideas. And because of that, he said, I want global tenders. So we issued global tenders for Sachin Society. And funnily enough, Sir Norman Foster, who is considered to be amongst the world's topmost architect and Britain's greatest architect, knighted by the Queen, showed interest. Sir Norman Foster and Knox, KNOX, Knox Bhavan from London was a firm which showed interest. They have got 12 of the 20 Queen's Awards from the RIBA, from Royal Institute of British Architects, and other such companies showed interest. Now, their interest letters we shared with some newspapers. So, Times of India spoke to them in London and in Singapore and gave their interviews, how they are interested in Sachin Society. And some of them came to India to see Sachin Society. And and their photographs and all that came in Times of India. You will be shocked that just these reports in the Times of India, there were so many people asking from the secretary as to, can we buy flats, can we buy flats? And they had a total of 1,300 people writing emails to him asking whether they can buy a flat, whereas they only had 212 flats to sell. So the people came, and of course, the Norman Foster's fees were unbelievable. They could not have afforded it. His assistant came by his private plane, and the private plane had to be parked in the Bombay airport, and he stayed in the Taj in a double suite for 7 days. The parking charges for the plane were 65 lakhs, which he paid. So, of course, he did not expect the society to pay. But just the interest of Sir Norman Foster to do something in a place like Mulund got them enough buyers to buy at a price which was 3,000 rupees more than the going on market price. So if you get these kind of foreign architects showing interest, your marketing problem will be more than half solved, because their very presence in the country or their design will evoke all the media people to come to you. India Today covered it, NDTV took interview, but it had side effects on the society also, negative. But these are the positive effects that happened. So such things, if you take a decision and you are lucky enough to get a good architect from abroad to take interest in your society, it will help you also. There are negative effects of getting too much publicity, too much in advance. And those negative effects can be very bad because so far none of your members are used to publicity. Sachin Society members were also not used to publicity. And they got so much publicity every day in the newspaper and in the media that sometimes too much publicity can go to your head. So that project has not moved further so far because of several other reasons. So you have to take a decision on whether you want international participation in your project or not. And if you take a decision, then you can move on.
Prabhu, just to
Can
summarize,
I add?
right now we are looking at the architects to show interest and just respond to our proposal. We are not looking at the design, we are just looking at interest.
Yeah,
Okay, so
whether we are inviting people from abroad to participate or not is a decision that your redevelopment committee has to take. If the answer is yes, who are we inviting to participate? We have to make a small list, large list, and write to them on their email addresses and speak to them on on Zoom or Google or WhatsApp or whatever. And then if they are interested, then shortlist their, make a short list of their people. Also check who are the top architects from India who are interested and make a comprehensive list and then move ahead. Even if it's a foreign architect, he will require the help of an Indian architect to do the local management part, and that we can marry the two together. If we have a good local architect whom we all agree is good, then he and the foreign architect can be together. The foreign architect can be the principal architect and the chief designer, and the local architect can help him.
Can I speak here, sir?
Yes.
Will you be suggesting the architect because you have got a lot of experience?
Definitely, I will give you a list of 10, 15, 20 architects.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. If there are no questions, I think
for the first meeting we have given too much homework.
You have given homework for two batches. One is for demand assessment, and second is about architect, appointment for architect. So all preliminary work will be done by these two groups. And then the timeline is 35 days. 30 days and plus 5 days. 35 days. With this, Prabhu Sahab, you can conclude your concluding remarks you give, so that we will close the meeting.
No, I'm very happy that things are going correct with your society. I'm happy that you have finally been able to make your redevelopment committee. I again reiterate that I feel very humbled and honored that you have appointed me as your advisor. But that was never a precondition. Even if you would not appoint me an advisor, my advice would still be there with the same this thing. I have no condition of any nature on you whatsoever. The condition that I should be your advisor, only then I will give advice. There is no such condition. Even if you would not have appointed or not passed a resolution, I would still have helped you like I am helping you now. So I'm thankful that you have formally appointed me advisor. But even if that was not done, my relationship with you is always there, whether you appoint me or not, and I shall continue to help you. Thank you very much.
So, Shelton, please give a vote of thanks to Sir Shelton. Mr. Shelton, I think Mr. Shelton is not there. Okay, sir, today is and from 11 o'clock, now it is almost 12:20. So almost we spent around 80 minutes and really we got a direction today because we were not knowing what to do from tomorrow. So you have given a very big homework and our people will work very hard and they will definitely come back to you in the first week of June with some results. And during in interregnum also, they may ask you certain questions.
Yes, you are always welcome to contact.
So thank you very much. And once again, we are very happy that you gave us a consent and you agreed to become our advisor because advisor role is very important for us because we are service as far as self-development is concerned. Though we have done the work, still the self-redevelopment in 2021 is not that simple as was there in 1965. So that's why persons like you in us and with our guidance will march ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Thank
joining
you, sir.
the meeting.
Thank you, Prabhu sir.
Available, so you can
Thank you, Mr. Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prabhu, for your time. Mr. Prabhu.
Is the meeting concluded? Excuse me, is the meeting concluded?
Yes, I think, Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we leave?
Yeah, I am leaving now.
Does Mr. Bhargir want to say anything? That's what I'm saying, especially for the RDC members.